May it please the court. Inaction led to injury. We are here today because Tina the Titan Travis, a dedicated athlete, a warrior in every sense of the word, suffered a life-altering injury during a championship fight on January 2023. This injury left her blind in one eye and destroyed her career. This injury, as we've seen, was caused by the reckless failure of the Global Fighting Federation referee Axel Rubio to intervene when Travis was knocked unconscious. The rules of the GFF require the referee to intervene after a fighter is unconscious. After she was knocked unconscious, her opponent, Rowena Roper, leapt upon her and struck her repeatedly in the face. This case is not about a fighter getting hurt in the ring. Injuries are clearly part of the sport. What makes this case different, what makes this case tragic, is that these injuries could have been avoided if the referee had just done his job. In fact, the GFF's best practice rules for referees, that referee Rubio had to follow, requires him to stop the fight immediately if something exactly like what happened that night occurred. We are here today because referee Rubio took no action as called for by the GFF rules. Instead, his inaction caused her injury. Members of the jury, today I had to prove to you that it was more likely than not that GFF's negligence through their employee, referee Rubio, was directly responsible for the permanent and severe damage done to Tina Travis. And throughout this case, I did just that. Tina Travis signed a contract with the GFF. This contract explicitly references the GFF's rules and regulations and says Tina Travis's fight is governed by them. Tina Travis reasonably understood under her contract with GFF that the rules and regulations of the GFF would be part of her contract and govern her fight. She can even be disciplined for not following such rules. We saw the GFF rules and regulations include the best practices for referees. Thus, her contract with GFF includes the best practices for referees. We heard from expert witness Dr. Francisco Grasso how Tina Travis suffered a detached retina in her left eye after being repeatedly struck by Rowena Roper in the face after she was knocked unconscious. While Dr. Grasso confirmed this is a common, well-known injury in combat sports, he also said that it could have been prevented with proper action. We also heard from Daniel White, an experienced combat sports referee, who testified that referee Rubio violated multiple best practices that were designed to protect fighters like Tina Travis. The referee failed to stop the fight after Travis was knocked out cold, and as a result, she was subjected to a series of punches and elbows while defenseless, causing the very injury that ended her career. Referee Rubio violated not only one of GFF's best practices, as I needed to prove, but most of them. This shows that GFF is responsible. The defense is desperate to avoid the effects of the GFF's own best practice rules, but the best they can do is present Petro Yermolov as a witness. Yermolov admitted he is a nephew of the GFF's CFO, and thus has a conflict of interest. He admitted he just became a lawyer, which makes him no expert. His only real testimony is the simple claim the word referees was not in the contract. But the GFF's rules and regulations are explicitly mentioned in the contract. Those rules include the best practices for referees. We also heard from Tira Yang, former friend, who claimed it was not the duty of referees to protect fighters. This is an absurd claim. It is in direct violation of the GFF best practices for referee rules. Yang further claimed it was the fighter's job to protect themselves. The referee is there when a fighter is not able to protect themselves, and all the credible testimony here shows that Roper violently punched Travis multiple times after she was unconscious, and referee Rubio did nothing to stop her. The defense brings up assumption of risk. They will tell you that Tina knew the risks, and therefore she must bear the responsibility. Yes, Tina knew the risks of fighting. Every fighter does. But what she didn't know, and what she never have expected, was that the referee would completely disregard his duty to protect her, allowing her to be struck while vulnerable. The risks she agreed to take were the risks of fighting in a controlled environment with an experienced referee, not the risks of an inactive and incompetent referee. Ladies and gentlemen, the facts are clear. Tina Travis trusted GFF. She trusted the referee, and she trusted the rules. Instead, she was left lying unconscious, exposed to multiple strikes that caused irreversible damage. This was not some tragic accident. It was the direct result of negligence, a failure to act when action was needed most, and that inaction led to injury. Tina Travis deserves justice, and I ask you, esteemed members of the jury, to hold GFF accountable for the harm that was caused to her. The rules are there to protect fighters, and when those rules are broken, lives are changed forever. Tina's career is over. Her left eye is permanently blind, and her life will never be the same. Find them liable. Inaction led to injury.